بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. I'll try my best to translate this. I'm not the best translator, inshallah. Some of the brothers who are on the group can verify and can check and see if the translation is accurate. I'll do my best, inshallah ta'ala, inshallah ta'ala. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الكريم وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. This short or brief article is about the ruling of seeking the help of the kuffar, and what the ulama say seeking the help of the kuffar and fighting the people of baghi, people of transgression, and the people of the khawarij, and whether or not this applies to what's happening today from the some of the alliances that are that's taking place, some of the Arab and Western alliances in attacking certain countries, and there's no need to go into detail. It's all mentioned here. I think everybody knows what this is referring to. Here is saying that it's more of a reputation against someone who said it's permissible to use the disbelievers to fight against the people of Baghi, or the people of transgression, and Iraq and Sham, and referring to what they call the Islamic State of Iraq and Sham. Not to get into much politics, but we want to get into what the ulama of the Salaf said about this issue. He says here, after his introduction, he says the person who allowed or claimed that this was permissible, he had overstepped his limits and really exposed his ignorance and contradicted the consensus of the Salaf al-Salih from the Ahl Hadith, and even the Ahl al-Ra'i, the people who put the qiyas before the nas in many cases. Even them, they like many of the Ahnaf, the ulama referred to as Ahl al-Ra'i, they also have said that it is not permissible unless in certain cases. But all of the Ahl Hadith and all of the fuqaha of Ahl Hadith in the past have agreed that it is not permissible. And we'll bring you some of the statements the ulama made. He says here, number one, the argument that the people there are khawarij, that has to be really discussed and verified. But this article is based on the premises that, okay, let's, for the sake of argument, say that they are khawarij. Is it permissible? Have the ulama of the past allowed using the kuffar to fight against them? So we're not saying they are, because that has to be really verified. But let's say they are khawarij, and then this the author is saying here. He says, وتنزلا مع القوم دون الدخول في كون دولة العراق والشام من الخوارج والبغاء أم لا نقول. He says, for the sake of argument, without going into a long discussion whether these people are or not khawarij or transgressors, because the person there was not even a Muslim, etc. He said, let's go on based upon the premises that they are, and let's look at what the ulama have said. He says, اتفق العلماء علماء أهل السنة. The ulama from Ahl Sunnah, from the Salaf, they have agreed that it's not permissible to seek the help of disbelievers in fighting the khawarij and the bugha. And none of the Salaf al-Salih say that it's permissible, and only a few of the people of Ra'i, or the people, or the latter after the 3 generations from the people of Ra'i who put opinion over in Kitab and Sunnah in many cases, they who were considered by many as people of bid'ah and deviance, they who do not independently hold any weight if they contradict the Ahl Hadith. They are the only ones who said it's permissible in very limited cases. And these conditions were very strict conditions, they said, and even these conditions don't apply in the situation that we're dealing with today. He says, let me bring some of the statements from the scholars and the dalil. Imam Ibn Munzir, who is known to be a reference when it comes to discussing consensus, he says, rahimahullah, in his book Al-Ishraf, chapter Al-Isti'ana bi Ahl al-Dhimma, using the people of Dhimma, the people who are under the state of the Muslims, under the protection of Muslims who are paying jizya, and the people of Harb, to fight against the other people, or the enemies of Islam, to fight against the people of transgression amongst the Muslims. He says, قال Abu Bakr, he says, واختلفوا في الاستعانة بأهل الذمة على أهل البغي. He says that the scholars, and he's referring to the people of Ra'i, that the scholars differed in using permissibility of seeking the help of the people of Dhimma, people who pay the jizya, against the people of transgression, in other words, the people who transgress against the Muslim leader. And Imam Shafi'i rahimahullah used to say, لا يجوز لأهل العدل أن يستعينوا على أهل البغي بأحد من المشركين ذميا ولا حربيا. He said it is not permissible for anyone from the people of adl, the people of moderation, or people of justice, referring to adl, the people of the sunnah and the people of the truth, to seek assistance against the people of transgression from any of the pagans, any of the mushrikeen, whether he may be a dhimmi, a person who is under the paying jizya to the Muslims, nor even a person who has no contract with the Muslims, or a harbi. And I do not support fighting them, meaning the people of transgression. أيضا بأحد يستحل قتلهم. I do not support requesting to fight against them with anybody who sees it permissible to kill them while they are in retreat, or while they are wounded, or وأسرى من المسلمين, or to kill any of the captives from the Muslims. So, right, and then he also he mentions the statement. He goes on, I can't go into every single detail, but he goes on, he says, وفي قول ثاني وهو أن لا بأس أن يستعينوا عليهم بأناس من أهل الذمة وكذلك يستعينوا عليهم بأناس من أهل الحرب قد دخلوا دار الإسلام بأمان وكذلك يستعينوا وكذلك يستعين عليهم بصنف من الخوارج مخالفين للذين خرجوا إذا كان أهل الحق هم ظاهرين على الذين يستعينوا. وهذا قول أصحاب الرأي. Then he said there's another opinion that it is permissible to fight, to use the people